Welcome. My name is Gordon Hoberman, and this is VisiCom, the visual paging system. VisiCom is a specialized communication system for dental and medical offices. You won't find it in any law offices. In fact, it's completely nonverbal. The concept is to eliminate verbal messages so patients don't hear an announcement such as, "Doctor, your next patient is waiting," and feel that perhaps you're hurrying to get to see the next patient. It's all accomplished with a coded message instead to enhance professionalism. There are no PCs required in every exam room. There's no pull-down menus, and there are no uncomfortable headphones to wear. VisiCom is the popular system in dental and medical communications. It's not a new concept. In fact, light systems have been in use for over 50 years for their enhanced professionalism by eliminating the verbal message. But VisiCom has taken it to the next level by adding patient sequencing to the formula. With VisiCom, you're always in the loop, aware of how many patients are waiting to see you and who called you first. VisiCom is a big enhancement to productivity as a result. One physician said to me, "Gordon, I'm so pleased you encouraged me to get the trial. I was amazed at how a few savings here, few savings seconds there, added up to a substantial enhancement to our office productivity." VisiCom is enormously popular, I believe, for two principal reasons. First of all, it's wireless. All you do is plug one of these compact units in each exam room, one at the front desk. There's virtually no wiring required from room to room. And the second reason for its immense popularity, I believe, is its incredible simplicity. I don't know how it could be any simpler, in fact. When you want someone, you press their button. That's all there is to VisiCom. Let's review. When you want someone, you press their button. It's really a no-brainer. And that's what's needed in a paging system. With everything else you've got on your mind and you're thinking about at the time, you need a system that you can use without thought. The VisiCom is in its third generation, about to celebrate 15 years on the market, and has recently transitioned from a power line carrier communication system to a radio frequency communication product. It's a radio protocol like Wi-Fi. It's not Wi-Fi, but it's similar, and it is rock solid. Without exception, old buildings, tough wire buildings with difficult older wiring are able to use VisiCom, even in the toughest installations, such as multiple floors. A simple plug-in booster is available. It should enable wireless communications in virtually every case. But despite this change and enhancement, VisiCom is very proud that throughout its life it has maintained compatibility with the earlier models of system. It also is capable of supporting multiple practices in the same building. So if your neighbor has VisiCom, that does not inhibit your ability to use it. The secret to the simplicity of VisiCom is this. Each unit knows in which room it is situated. When first you set up, I'm just going to clear here and start from scratch, you go into each room and choose a letter to designate that room. I've very cleverly chosen A, B, C, and D as my room letters, but you might choose, for example, here in the lab, you might choose to set this for room L. Whatever letter you want to choose, A through Z is fine, but the key is the VisiCom will always remember its room designation. It employs state-of-the-art EEPROM memory, so even if there is an extended power failure, the programming within the VisiCom is retained, and that is accomplished without batteries. Once you have assigned a letter to each room, you'll want to choose a number as well for each person. And you can do it either way. If you want to have room numbers, then people become letters. Here in this example, though, I've set this up with room letters. People are represented by numbers. You can choose who gets what number, but we like to say the doctor is always number 1 in our example. Once you've chosen your room identities and your people numbers, you might want to use our personalized labeling, a label such as this, or our newer strip labels where the person's name appears right next to their numbered button. And then it's as simple as pressing the button for the person you want. Here in room C, if I call the doctor, person 1, the message is automatically 1C. The meaning is person 1, because I pressed button number 1, is needed in room C. That person, wherever they are at throughout the office, is aware of that message and can respond from any location just by pressing the clear button, and that then clears the message throughout the office. Each one gets a letter of your choosing. This is the specialized unit for the front desk, the reception transceiver. It does not use a letter like the room units. It instead uses a highly scientific code, PT, to signify your patient is here. We emphasize the same one-button press simplicity, however. Just press the button for the person you want, and the message 1PT, or whatever number you pressed, appears on the units throughout the office. Optionally, if you wish to, you may press the person's numbered button on the lower row as well, and this sends the highly scientific code PH, and that may signify person number 2, you have a phone call, or if you prefer to announce phone calls for just one person, that could mean that the phone call is coming in on line number 2. This is a basic configuration here for 8 people. This is by far our biggest seller. Almost 90% of our client base uses this, our basic model. But larger models are available for the largest practices. The VisiCom extended unit has double the number, 16 buttons, for double the staff capacity. And the VisiCom Bad Boy, the VisiCom Pro, is the largest in the world, with capacity for 99 staff people and 52 station locations. Instead of 1 digit in the display, it has the capability of displaying either 1 or 2 digits to display the number all the way up to 99 staff people. With VisiCom, whenever a message is sent, that message is introduced with the chime tone you're hearing. The chime tone is probably the biggest enhancement that VisiCom has brought to the communication market. The older units, some of them had an obnoxious sounding buzzer, but the real deficiency was that everyone heard the sound every time there was a message. All day long, the doctors and other providers were turning to look to see who the message was for. Is that for me? Is that for me? Is that for me? Until little by little, they would tune the messages out. And I get staff people who come to the trade shows often and ask me, have you got a shock collar or something? We can't get our doctor's attention. And I'm not surprised. There was too much distraction. And with VisiCom, we have eliminated that distraction with an advanced feature called chime restriction. There are several characteristics. First of all, we have a pleasing chime tone. Secondly, each room has an independent volume adjustment from quite loud down to completely silent, totally inaudible. But you generally need an audible tone to let you know when there's a message. And thus, we have the various chime capabilities. We also have a variety of chime tones that you can choose from. Here is just a sample. And these tones, my favorite, are chosen for their individuality, so that and they can be assigned to whomever you choose on a case-by-case basis. So the receptionist, for example, can be the only one that uses one certain tone, and so forth. And then the provider can recognize their messages by the tone alone. And this is significant because many times you don't want to have to look, but you still want to know if the message is for you. And in our latest introduction of new tones, we've added the spoken words, 1, 2, and 3. So if you're number 1, your messages can be announced like this.
1.
In addition, we have invented a concept called chime restriction, and I'm the only one who's got it as far as I know. What it means is you can program room by room who chimes and who's silent. So in your operatory, for example, if the message is for you, it can produce the tone of your choosing. If the message is for your partner, it's blissfully silent. And conversely, in your partner's examination room, the messages for him or her produce the tone, and the messages are for you are silent. This is a big step forward compared to systems that make everyone look every time there's a message. Other advanced features of VisiCom are message emphasis. If you need your assistant, for example, number 4, just press that button. That message, assist person, number 4, assistant, come to room C, appears everywhere to let her know that she's needed. If you need her right away or if he doesn't respond quickly, you can emphasize the message by pressing the button a second time. And this has 3 influences. First of all, it has the rocking display appearance that you see here for emphasis. Secondly, each time that message reappears in the list of messages, it chimes again. And in this way, she can't say, I didn't hear it. And then thirdly, if there's more than one message for that person, it increases the priority and takes it to the beginning of their list. And then we hope you'll never need it, but there is even a third button press. We don't want you to use this for emphasis. Reserve this for that once in a while occurrence, patient fainted, for example, where you need to get the point across that you need help. And you need it right now. Like any message, you can respond from any location throughout the office just by pressing clear. But that only clears the message that's visible in the display at that moment. And the reason this is so important is that VisiCom's next major advance is patient sequencing. With patient sequencing, you're always in the loop, aware of how many patients are waiting to see you and in what sequence, who called you first. It even features resequencing. So if I am the provider in exam room C, and I know you've got calls ahead of me in A and B, by pressing the button a second time for emphasis, it moves it to the top of the list. I can, if I need you for a quick exam and I know you've got lengthy procedures ahead of you, I can ask you to come to my station first. There's when you want to respond to a message, then let's take an example. In order to demonstrate the patient sequencing, let's put a couple messages in. I'm going to turn the volume back down on this one so we're not distracted by that. This is a message for you to come to room C, and a moment later another staff member pages you to room B. Now there are 2 messages, and the sequence is C and then B. Now all I have to do is to convey that understandably to you. The secret is in the stars. Whenever there are multiple messages, VisiCom composes a list of those messages. They're combined. The messages are put in sequence, showing all of one provider's messages before it begins the next provider's. So if you're looking through the list of messages, 1C, 1B, 2 anything, you know you've seen all your messages because your messages are grouped together. And then your messages appear within the sequence chronologically. At the end of the list of messages, VisiCom puts 2 asterisks in the display. So I can now determine, okay, I'm needed in room C, I'm needed in room B, and now here comes a message for person 2. I've seen all my messages. The first message is in C, the second message is in B. I've got 2 patients waiting. Typically what you'll do is respond to the oldest message and leave any other messages in the queue to let you know where to go next. And there's no waiting around. There's a fast advance button labeled next. That button will take you through the sequence of messages right to the star. So then you can press clear to eliminate the oldest message, and the others remain in the queue to let you know where to go next. If people check into the room when they arrive, then you can use the system and press their button and the next button, and it'll tell you where that staff person is at the moment. Also added in the last couple of years, a built-in impression timer. If you want to know when a certain number of minutes have elapsed, you just press the top button for simplicity. That activates the timer. Tell the timer how many minutes you want to time. And at the end of those period of minutes, the timer will chime just like an ordinary elapsed time timer. When it reaches the last minute, it counts down the seconds in the last minute. So if you're trying to do a partial minute, you can even do that. Or if you need to leave the room, you can also set the unit to page you to return when the elapsed minutes have expired. We enter the timer function, enter the number of minutes, and then we say who we want to come to the room when the minutes expire. So this display shows that in 56 seconds, it will act as if I walked back to the room and pressed button number 5. It will page person 5 to come to room C. In addition to the built-in codes, many practices establish codes of their own choosing. People all the time give me new ideas for codes they've established. We have a code that means the pizza's here. The most common custom code, as I refer to them, are reply codes, messages that you can use for any meeting, but that say, I got your message, but here's my reply. So, for example, if we page you, I need you in room B, you can respond by clearing the message and sending a code back. This is the one I like, 8, I'm running late. And we have decided and agreed amongst ourselves that that simply means that I'm coming, but I'll be delayed a certain period of time. With VisiCom, you can mount it in any of 3 ways. Most people just set them on the countertop since they're portable. Features the non-skid silicone rubber feet. If you'd like to get it off the counter, there's an optional wall mount bracket. With the wall mount bracket, it's made of a heavy gauge of stainless steel, and it angles the unit away from the wall. This gives it the stability necessary to have a firm feel when you press the buttons. Also creates a small space behind the unit, so that particularly if you're mounting the unit above the counter, you can hide the excess cord in here, and there's no dangling cord then laying on the counter. And the third mounting option is the Cadillac of installation, the VisiCom flush mount kit, used predominantly in new construction. Takes a little planning, takes a little more work, adds a little cost. Uses a beautiful laser cut brushed stainless steel cover plate. The cool thing though about the flush mount kit is that it is an adapter for the portable unit. So if after you've used the system a while you want to build it in, you can get the flush mount kit, or if you build a new office and you decide you want the deluxe appearance of a build-in, you can preserve your investment in the portable units by ordering the flush mount kit, building what were once portable units into the wall. VisiCom also is designed for ease of cleaning. You may, of course, cover it with barrier film if you wish, but it is designed specifically for asepsis and direct cleaning. Put your strongest antiseptic on the rag, wipe the unit after each patient. It features subsurface printing, and so the units will always look like new. The new model, VisiCom 3000, introduced this year, features a removable power supply, a miniature external power supply. And what this does is it gives us correspondence with the worldwide power supply requirements, including Underwriters Laboratory in the United States, CSA in Canada, and CE in Europe. We can provide the unit with a power supply for virtually any place in the world. Because units are portable, if you ever want to expand the system, all that's needed is to purchase another unit. There's no programming, there's no central equipment. Buy the unit, choose the room letter, and you've expanded the system. If you want to reorient it, you can move it across the hall. If you move, you can move it across town, just unplug them and take them with you. The best aspect of the portable nature of the system, though, is the opportunity it affords you to test drive the system. We are so very confident that once you experience the increase in professionalism and productivity, you will not want to surrender the units. And so we offer you 30 days, unconditional satisfaction guarantee. Try the units out completely at our risk. Make sure you love them, and I know you will. The system is inexpensive. Typical configuration that you see here for 4 room units and 1 front desk unit runs under $2,000. My name is Gordon. This is VisiCom, the visual paging system. Thank you very much.